And thanks for joining us. I'm Darren Bob. Alexandra is on assignment tonight. We start with developing story out of Fort Smith. For hours, this man, John West, caused an hours-long manhunt and lockdown at Mercy Hospital, Fort Smith. Here's what we know about him. According to authorities, he is facing at least 3 charges: aggravated assault, felony theft, and impairing the operations of a vital public facility. He is in custody at this time after being found hiding in a small box in the hospital with a water gun. Now, that lockdown at Mercy Hospital has been lifted. Authorities say the man accused of starting it is in the Sebastian County Jail. Kayla Davis just talked with police about how all this unfolded.
Fort Smith police tells me the suspect, 34-year-old John West, was arrested today and is facing 3 felony counts after causing a lockdown at Mercy Hospital for a potential shooter. He's currently being held at the Sebastian County Detention Center in Fort Smith with no bond. According to Fort Smith police, that suspect, 34-year-old John West, was found in one of the nursing education classrooms in Mercy Hospital, hiding in a small box with a physician's laptop and tablet. They also say the black pistol that triggered the lockdown was actually a painted toy water gun. Mercy tells us West was a former patient and was banned from the hospital last week. Officials have not yet said why he is no longer welcome on the property. Hospital staff called 911 when he was sighted again this morning. Fort Smith PD spokesperson Eric Mitchell says West pointed his gun at security when he walked in this morning, leading to the lockdown. FSPD and other government agencies were on the scene from around 10:30 this morning and packed up around 1:30 after finding West.
There were just so many people who promptly responded and to make sure that this was a safe outcome and help us out in the process. We also want to thank Mercy Fort Smith for taking this seriously. This day and age, a threat like it could be anything, and the fact that they were so fast to call this in and get us out here and that we could all coordinate so well together, it's really encouraging to be living in this area.
Mercy Hospital Chief Operating Officer Jason Demke says hospital officials were able to set up a joint command center with other agencies to address the incident and keep patients safe.
Our top priority right now is to get our operations back to normal and care for our coworkers, our patients, and get to their loved ones to instill that confidence. We've got to get back to normal and make sure everybody feels safe getting care.
They say patient care has since resumed, but they are still in the process of checking in with all the patients that were inside of the hospital during the lockdown. They say no negative impacts have been recorded at this time. In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Kayla Davis, 5 News.
All right, Kayla, thanks. And for hours, law enforcement were sweeping through Mercy Hospital during that lockdown, leaving many workers, patients, and visitors outside watching this all take place. 5 News reporter Rachel Williams joins us now live who spoke with those who were out there tonight. Rachel?
Darren, today I spoke with many different people who were either in the building or had loved ones inside the building, and they all gathered outside this hospital in the parking lot watching all of this unfold. And as you can imagine, all of them were concerned. But here's new video from the inside.
And go to your right. There should be 19 coming.
Maybe 19 people thankful to be able to leave the hospital's cafeteria after Sebastian County Sheriff's Office cleared the area. NICU nurse Tessa Shea was one of those people.
I went down there to get breakfast, and as soon as I ordered, they called overhead that there was an armed intruder. So they locked all the doors, and we were kind of stuck in there since like 10:50 this morning. They came through, and we were in the freezer because somebody was pulling on the doors. So we got in the freezer, and it was the police. They came in and asked us if we wanted to leave, and we said yes.
Shay said after hearing the word intruder over the intercom, it scared her.
I said a big prayer. I got text messages that my family was praying for me, and I was just scared because I was on the side of the hospital that he was on and not in my home unit.
Medical student Marissa O'Donnell says she had just come out of a patient's room and heard from other coworkers the hospital was on lockdown. In that moment, she says she felt anxious, not knowing any details about the situation.
So me and a few other of the nurses and medical assistants went into an exam room together and kind of turned off the lights, put the exam bed in front of the door, and just sat in silence waiting for the okay that it was safe to leave.
As for Mercy patient Becca Bradley, she came here this morning hoping to get blood work.
I'm currently undergoing treatment for cancer, and so I have to come here every week for blood work. And I kind of just sat in my car for a while, waited for the rain to slow down, and as soon as it did, I turned around and tried to go inside, and I couldn't. There were a bazillion cops out front, and definitely didn't look like a place where I wanted to go.
Mercy Fort Smith Chief Operating Officer says they're still learning details about what happened while the hospital was on lockdown. So far, no negative impacts on employees or patients while the hospital was on lockdown. But for now, I'm live in Fort Smith covering news where you live. Rachel Williams, 5 News.